Let's quickly talk about some of the fictional niceties that you say we have been living with.
Yes.
And time that we got rid of them.
Yes.
Could we mention a few?
How blunt do you want me to be?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You have a most receptive audience.
A few sessions ago, one participant here from Kashmir basically said that a peace movement and a peaceful movement and a non-violent movement secured independence for us. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm sorry, history is completely, it goes against the person who made this statement, and I'm happy to discuss facts. The problem is that these are certain realities. So why do I have a problem with this reality? Assume for a moment that this reality is merely academic and it's been put in the cold storage of history and has absolutely no relevance to my existence today. I don't have a problem with it. A comfortable reality which makes no difference to my life today, its existence I'm not concerned with at all. But if that comfortable reality is used to lull and dull the sense of self-preservation of the Hindu community as a community, then I will have to call out the bluff that is that uncomfortable reality. And therefore I'm saying at a time when the borders of this particular country, and this is a reality, I'm happy to actually quote facts on this. Multiple news reports have clearly said that there's a massive demographic imbalance when it comes to the border districts of Bihar and all those regions. And I can point out the massive demographic inversion in this particular state also. This is happening in Andhra Pradesh. This is happening across the country. When this is the case, am I to continue to believe in this uncomfortable reality, or let's say this comfortable myth and fiction to my own detriment? I'm not going to. If this were not the case, I don't have a problem with it. But since it is a continuing reality, I have to deal with it. The problem is what we seem to be thinking of is the scepter of next round of partition, of the next wave of partition here at my doorstep? No, it is not. So why are we raking this up? 1947 never happened overnight. It did not even start with the Khilafat movement. It started at least 1.5 centuries before. So partition typically happens when there is the right kind of demographic balance or imbalance at play depending on who you represent and what your interests are. It's a question of biding your time. And therefore, being a decent student of history who's done his homework when it comes to this particular subject, I'm saying, I think we are inching and perhaps hurtling in the very same direction. And if it happens after 1947, we have nobody else to blame but ourselves for our own stupidity.
So if not the Constitution, what?
Of course the Constitution. Without a doubt the Constitution. The question is not, if not the Constitution, what? The question is, what is the Constitution's position with respect to the civilization and its right to exist? Hence the topic of the first book, India, that is Bharat, Coloniality, Civilization, Constitution, which is, what is the nexus between this civilization's basic impulses and the constitutional morality, or the constitutional morality that everybody constantly spews about and pontificates to the Hindu community about? What is the relationship? Is the Constitution at loggerheads with the Hindu philosophy, with Hindu civilization and its basic rights of existence? If yes, should the Constitution be reconsidered? Should we go back to the drawing board stage? Should it hit reset? Your next question to that will be, then what happens to others? Right? Okay.
No, my next question is, then
what?
Yeah.
Then what? My entire submission has been, the existence of others in this country predates the Constitution of 1950. So it is not the Constitution that has safeguarded the existence of others here. It is the fact that the majority is largely peace-loving and is accommodating as long as the others don't come in the way of our existence and our way of life, period. As simple as that. Now therefore, assuming that we go back to the hit reset stage and the drawing board stage, and I come out with a Dharmic Republic 2.0 and I say this republic, it needs a revisitation, it is still not going to result in what people typically, let's say, project by way of fear-mongering, a Nazification of Bharat. No, that's not going to happen. Because you're effectively comparing the European supremacist with Hindus. That's such an injustice to people who are victims of colonization and European supremacy. So we are not made in that particular mold. We are not made that way. Take it, okay, let's ask ourselves a simple question. Dr. Ambedkar is effectively known to have pushed for population exchange, complete population transfer after 1947. Now, he is apparently being quoted by those who bat for minority rights. I don't know how that works. Now, second, let's look at it this way. Despite the horror of partition, despite the specific religious basis for the two-nation theory, and I would say the founding fathers of the two-nation theory had a very clear scriptural basis. They quoted the chapter and verse from that particular scripture. Despite that, did it see a mass wave of genocide against this particular community after 1947? Did that happen? Can the entire, let's say you summon the entire army and all the police forces across the country, are they enough to deal with the Hindu community if the Hindu community decides to pick up the weapon? In 1947, had they done so? Not possible. Because there was no such reason to fear such a backlash. In popular, let's say, representation in pop culture, you have had Naushad, you have had Rafi, you have had Dilip Kumar. People constantly say, no, he had to change his name from Yusuf Khan to Dilip Kumar because of the atmosphere then. Well, there are so many other people, including directors such as Mehboob, who did not have to change their names. How is that possible unless and until this is fundamentally an accepting community? So give this community...
I thought you didn't like Bollywood.
Let's just say there are
You're
portions...
a great opponent of it.
The good part of being me is that I'm not predictable. And it's very difficult for anybody to actually say, this is his position and this is where we're going to pin him down. I'll have a clear proviso clause according to a lawyer's vocabulary.
You're a good lawyer as well. Great.